The emergency siren blared through the Skeld, its red lights pulsing in sync with the frantic pounding of Captain Rourke's heart. The ship was dead in the water, orbiting an abandoned planet, its crew reduced to a handful of survivors. Something had gone horribly wrong. At first, it was just malfunctions. Lights flickering, doors locking on their own, oxygen depleting in random sectors. But then they found Peterson's body in electrical. His suit torn open. The helmet's visor shattered from the inside. That's when they knew there was an imposter among them. Rourke had been on missions before, had survived spacewalks gone wrong, meteoroid collisions, even a reactor failure. But this was different. The enemy wasn't outside the ship, it was one of them. The remaining crewmates, Kara, Boone, and Singh, had barricaded themselves in the cafeteria, trying to make sense of it all. The vents hissed now and then, a cruel reminder that whoever, or whatever, was hunting them could be anywhere. "We have to finish the diagnostics," Singh insisted, his hands trembling. "The ship's AI might tell us who it is." Kara shook her head. "We're not splitting up, that's what it wants." Boone, ever the cynic, let out a dry laugh. "So what, we sit here and wait to die?" Rourke checked his communicator. The ship's logs were corrupted, but he could still track movements. The problem was, the log showed crew activity in medbay. Medbay was empty. His blood ran cold. There's another one. The lights flickered, plunging them into darkness. A sickening crunch echoed from the hallway. Someone, something, was out there. The doors hissed open. A shadow darted past the threshold. Boone screamed, firing his plasma cutter wildly into the dark. The emergency lights flickered back on, revealing the horror in front of them. It had Boone. Long, spindly arms wrapped around his torso, claws piercing his suit. The thing wore a mockery of a crew uniform, its visor a reflective black void. But the worst part was its mouth. An impossible jagged grin stretching far past where a human jaw should end. It turned its head toward Rourke, its visor splitting open like a grotesque shell, revealing rows of needle-like teeth. Boone gurgled as it crushed him effortlessly, his body crumpling like paper before being dragged into the vent. Silence. Then, a voice, soft and mocking. One left. Kara was gone. Singh was trembling, barely able to stand. Rourke knew they wouldn't make it if they stayed put. "There's an escape pod," he whispered. "We run." Singh nodded, but as they stepped into the hallway, the ship groaned, an unnatural guttural sound like metal bending under unseen pressure. The vents above them rattled, then they burst open. The creature dropped between them, landing with an inhuman grace. It straightened, tilting its head as if savoring their terror. Then, in Boone's voice, it whispered, "Where are you going?" Rourke lunged, shoving Singh toward the escape bay. The creature moved too fast, its limbs stretching, warping. A clawed hand swiped. Singh let out a strangled gasp as he was lifted off his feet. Rourke ran. He didn't look back, didn't dare. The screams followed him, echoing through the empty ship. His boots slammed against the floor as the escape pod bay came into view. Almost there. The pod door opened. Rourke leapt inside, slamming his fist against the launch controls. The countdown initiated. Then the whisper came from behind him. "Where do you think you're going, Captain?" The reflection in the pod's glass wasn't his own. The last thing Rourke saw was his own face splitting open, grinning wide, before the pod door sealed and ejected into the void.